Yo, 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 what's good? It's your boy, Dat Muthafucka Steve, coming at you live from EmceeTV Studios in Des Moines, Iowa. And tonight we got a special guest, my homie, my bro.
Nuisance.One, what's happening, y'all? What's good? What's good?
I appreciate you jumping on here with me, bro. We got
Oh,
one
yeah.
for the late night going on. It's been a minute since I've done a later podcast, man. So this is kind of my witching hour. You know what I mean? I'm used to doing it at the late night. So, yeah, it's kind of dope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, it's good. What's that? You know that Swollen Members song? It's like, man, I shouldn't even brought it up because I'm gonna fuck up the lyrics, but something about like nighttime is the right time, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's
think
what.
that was a Adam Sandler quote too from Little Nicky or whatever. I think
Oh,
it was
word.
the
Shout-
nighttime is the right time.
Okay, dope. Yeah, I need to see Lil Nicky again, dude. That movie is dope, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out Lil Nicky, man.
Sandler's coming back in a big way, man. I'm excited for this Happy Gilmore part 2. That one will be dope.
Same. Me too.
I'm pretty excited. And it goes direct to Netflix too, so
Oh,
uh
that's first. He just dropped like a Halloween movie on Netflix, like maybe a couple years ago now. But man, that movie was dope too. It's like who who's Halloween or something like that.
oh, I might have missed that one. I'm gonna have to go back and check it out.
Adam Sandler's always good, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's fun. He's
Yeah.
fun. Um so let's get into it, bro. You got a new single that you've been working on for a minute,
Mm.
and it's out now.
It's out. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's my little children get released from the brain womb, dude. So yeah, they're out in the world.
Uh all right, so this one, let's talk about it a little bit. So how did you first put the song together?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I think actually. So for people that don't know, I met Marv Won through you. You've worked with him prior, maybe a couple times, I think, right? You a
Yeah,
couple,
yeah, I've
yeah.
worked with him a few different times now. Ray and I did a project with him back in the day, and then Cap and I did a project with him.
Okay.
I feel like there's maybe one more in there too. And then you and I went out there and I did another project with him, and then we
Mm,
did your project with him as well. So
mm. And you haven't released the one that you were working on when we were out there, or that's
nope. I recorded a video for that one as well, and I shot a video for the first one. But the video, I actually did the hook on the first one, and I have not dropped that video yet because my part of the video is a little fucked up for the hook, and so I got to get a better take of that part of the video. Shout out, Baby Isaac just joined us. We got Baby Isaac up in here from Get You Some Battle League, one of the
Yeah.
fiercest battlers up in the city for sure, and
From Des
definitely,
Moines.
yeah,
That that's the one. Oh, shout out Des Moines, man. Hey, big shout out Des Moines, dude. Des Moines, I fuck with Des Moines, dude, and Des Moines fucks with me. I get a lot of plays out there, and like everyone that man, I fucking love Des Moines. Actually, shout out Des Moines, man. All Des Moines MCs, shout out, big shout out.
hell yeah. Uh, yeah, so I've done some work with Marv back in the day, and yeah, I worked with him on a few different projects, and then I kind of bridged the gap when you were interested in working with him, and then you guys kind of pieced that together from there.
Yeah, that's fresh. Yeah, I remember. So what was dope is I remember you talking to me about it, and there was an opportunity to jump on a track with Marv, which I was very interested in. And then I had just previously gone out to Detroit. I was in Detroit for some concerts and during Halloween, and I hit up House Shoes. I was like, man, I want to get a bunch of dope records out in Detroit. So I hit up House Shoes. I know House Shoes from here in LA, and I hit him up, and for anyone who doesn't know, House Shoes is kind of the dude who broke Eminem, and he used to DJ at the Shelter and shit. So he's like heavily involved in the Detroit hip hop scene, and he lives out here in LA. He has for a long time now. But uh, I hit him up and I was like, "Yo, man, like, where should I go for records?" You know, and so I went. He recommended this place called People's Records. It's in Detroit. I went there. It's a sick ass fucking record shop, dude. I love that record shop. And I bought like just tons, dude, of like Detroit made like gospel records. And the dope thing about Detroit record shops, bro, is there's a lot of local like because Detroit has had such a million. a ton of different musical movements, right? Like the blues movement was really big there. John Lee Hooker, and then Motown, obviously, like one of the biggest musical movements. Funk, bro, came, like, George Clinton and them came out of there, and like I'm gonna miss a ton of people, but there was a lot of movements. And techno, it originated from Detroit, before they did house in Chicago. But so I wanted to get like, but what's cool about the record shop is they do like cater to a lot of just like homegrown Detroit music of all genres, dude, that came out of there. So I got a bunch of like gospel records, like old dusty gospel records, bro, like not even like great sound recording, like the ones you want when you get samples. You're like, dude, these ones they have the dust on them, bro. We get the pops, and I love that shit, man. And so I came back home, and I'm a student of like Dilla. It By me saying that is like J Rock kind of mentored me in producing, and J Rock used to be the DJ for J Dilla when he lived out here in Los Angeles. And Dilla really changed the whole landscape of the music in Los Angeles, for those that don't know. That kind of birthed like the LA beat scene and all that. But so when I learned production, it was very detrimental that I learned, and I'm a huge Dilla fan, so it was like very detrimental that I learned and understood like time signatures that Dilla created. So when I made that beat, I had all these records sitting there, and I wanted to make this Detroit sound, like using Jay Dilla's time signatures on the beats, on the drums, and using these samples from these gospel records. And I didn't really have a reason yet to do it. And then when you were like, yo, I think I can get you a project with Marv. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. So all those beats. That's why I use a lot of like the church imagery and like the chapels and stuff. It's because those are all gospel records that I made the beat, like every sound in there. So that was fresh, and like, and I wanted it to sound kind of grimy, like Detroit hip hop is grimy to me, and I love that about Detroit hip hop. So I wanted it to have that sound.
Shout out to Nicholas Landon and Jazzy Wells joining us on the podcast tonight. Appreciate y'all jumping in with us while we're talking to Nuisance.One about the new record he did with Marv Won, Sanctuary of the Suffering. So we were just kind of digging in on exactly like how the beat came together and the beginning process of putting this whole record together, and just kind of getting the background before we dig into like to the meat of it. So you sampled a bunch of old gospel records and stuff, and got the horns and everything from it. Okay, so what was the next step in the production? I said horns, I meant organs.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I was just like nodding, like, all right. Man, it was a fast process. I made that beat real quick. I think I want to say it, I maybe it was in my head. Maybe I don't remember correctly, but I feel like I had a time limit. I in my life have a lot going on. So the way that I work, because I do, for people that don't know, I do my own artwork. I am an animator. I do my own beats. I do my own cuts. I do my own lyrics. I record myself. I promote myself. I build all my own promotion. It's like I'm a one-man team, and I like it that way. Like I love it that way. But so for me, I have a schedule, either sloppily scribbled down on stick-it notes and half designed in my head, where it's like I have slots where I have to get things done to get them out. Otherwise things will just sit in limbo forever. So I don't remember if it was time sensitive, or maybe I was like, I just got to get this and get it out to Marv. I kind of forget the situation, but I do remember making the beat super fast. I remember that, and I remember like just being happy with the beat, man. Like I was like, oh, this is coming perfect. It's like how I envisioned in my head. Things flew really quick with it. I remember sending it to Marv, and Marv was down with it. And Marv's a producer too, so that's like it's a dope compliment when another producer, because I work with a lot of rappers, man, and I love working with rappers. But when you work with a rapper as a producer, it's a little bit different of a vibe, you know what I mean? Because you can, there's a different appreciation, I feel, you know what I'm saying? Is like, if someone's like, oh man, I fuck with this beat, and they make beats, that's like, oh yeah, all right, word.
Yeah, it means a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's definitely dope. I definitely fuck with it. Sorry, I was flipping through the comments and shit. Yeah,
I can't see the comments, so
okay.
if I'm not replying to people, it's because I can't see.
Yeah, no, you're all good. I'll handle the comments. Don't even sweat it. I can hold that down for both of us. I lost my train of thought. My bad. I got to stay out of the comments and fucking stay focused here. I'm tired as shit. We went to the Timberwolves game last night, and so we were up in Detroit. We were up in Minneapolis until like 1 o'clock in the morning. Me and my son went up there, caught the game, and then I didn't really get much sleep because we had some crazy shit going on at the house, and I had a contractor call me this morning. And so like their hours are completely different than my hours. And so I got like a 7 a.m. phone call after being up till like 2 o'clock in the morning. And so there wasn't a whole bunch of sleep going on. So I'm a little scatterbrained right now, trying to maintain, but, yeah, so my bad. Okay, so we were talking about putting the verse together, putting the beat together and getting it mailed off to Marv, and then I kind of remember how we were putting that together, and this is all coming back to me as we're kind of like re talking about it and going down memory lane and shit. And then you had already done your verse, I think, and stuff on it. You were already ready to go. So okay, so the name of the track is Sanctuary City. I'm sorry, Sanctuary of the Suffering. Where did that come from?
You know, a couple things. Like I wanted like I was kind of still running with this like dark gothic cathedral church theme, you know. So to me, like a church is like I was trying to think of like what's a cool way of saying like my whole brand for anyone who doesn't know is kind of it's dark, you know, like I I fuck with horror real heavy and and I just love horror. I love dark things, man. Like I like that's just my thing. So like anytime I try to pick a name for a song, like I try to make it sound kind of dark, you know. Like poetic, maybe like some Edgar Allan Poe type titling. But to me, like a sanctuary is a place you go to be safe. That's like a church is kind of like a sanctuary. But it's also like on the flip side, like I was raised as a young kid by my father who was Catholic. You know, I mean that was when I was very young before my parents split. And when I would go to these Catholic churches, man, we used to go to this Catholic church. My family's from a neighborhood in Fort Collins called Spanish Colony. The church is called Holy Name, and we used to go there, and it was like just dark, it was dark, you know, like I don't have good memories of it, but I love the architecture of like those old Catholic churches, you know. But I just think like you go in there and these people like they didn't seem happy, and like I was just just a lot of things in my head. I was kind of thinking of like courtrooms too, is like you know you go in there and people are like you're suffering for whatever problems you did and stuff. Like I have a couple lines in there that reference I because as a youth I was in trouble. I went to court a lot. Just there's like a lot of like a hodgepodge of just ideas and things that I wanted to like kind of paint this imagery of, you know, like I work in film. I like my music to sound and feel very like cinematic. Like I want there to be like the essence of it when you hear it. It's important to me. So like I just think like these words kind of make you think you're like in this dark building, you know, where like some things have gone wrong and maybe there's hope and maybe there's not, and you know it's just this is sanctuary of the suffering, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of ways you could kind of flip that, but
When I think, not to skip ahead too far, but I think when we put together the cinematography for this one, we kind of depicted that pretty well.
yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was kind of we might as well just get into it. So the track was done. Marv laid his verse. Your verse was on there. The hook was on there. Now it was time to kind of figure out a time slot that worked for everybody. For you to fly out from the West Coast, and for me to make my way out from the Midwest, and all of us to link up to film this project. Which was kind of I mean, like the whole part of it was exciting, but that was the more exciting part for me because now we're bringing this whole thing to like we're all getting together, and now it's time to like take this and really make something visual with it, to take this idea and take it to the next level. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
um, and that was something I got to before I had a small part in it, but this part I got to have a lot more of a part in. So that was kind of exciting for me.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, really, man, you were there for a lot of it. Like, if you think about it, because the whole idea became because you were like, hey, there's an opportunity for you to go with Marv. that's birthed the idea. Like, oh, what do we do? So you were there in the genesis of it, and then like going there, we were tossing around ideas of like where we should film at. Because really, me and you did just like some guerrilla filming. You know what I mean? And like, we might as well just mention is like we were like just straight breaking into buildings and stuff. Like, we had some ideas. We had some spots where we wanted to go. We didn't care. There was no concern about like this might be dangerous. This might be. I mean, we didn't commit felonies, but like we were going into like factories that were
We hopped a
abandoned.
fence. We hopped a
Yeah,
fence.
yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't like I ain't trying to make this out like it was this crazy thing that we could have died, but we were like kicking it with like homeless people in abandoned houses and stuff. You know what I mean? Like we went where we wanted to go, and we fulfilled the vision that we both agreed upon for the video. You know what I mean? And that was
Yeah.
fresh.
And we spent a few days out there filming, and you know what I mean? I guess I shouldn't even say a few because it was pretty quick. I think we pretty much knocked it all out in like 24 hours, but there was
Yeah.
like the little, when you first landed, we messed around a little bit and caught some stuff, and then just hit it hard the next day. And that was kind of it. And then you had to, I think you caught a flight and got right back out of town, and I jumped in the car and I drove back home.
Yeah, I went fast. We did a lot in a little bit of time because when we first went out, you had met up with Ty Ferris, who is an MC out in Detroit, if people aren't aware, and you did a podcast with him, uh, an interview, and we talked, and he's dope, man. He's super cool. And then I
Yeah,
feel like the
Ty's that
next,
dude. Ty's like the mayor of Detroit.
yeah, he's a super dope dude, and he's just cool, man. He's just like a humble, cool ass dude, pulled up in a sick ass car. Like, he's just a Detroit motherfucker. There's something about Detroit people that I love, like even when we were filming, dude, like we would just post up and film, like, cause we filmed in front of a couple of churches, just out in the wild. And there'd be like motherfuckers that walked up to us and they were, you would think like, in a movie they would cause problems, but in real life they're like intrigued. Like they're like, yo, what are you guys doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like we literally shot this whole scene where I did the verse. We ran through the verse. There's a homeless guy with a post with like all these flags dancing in the background. Like, this is the shit. You know what I mean? Like we had all sorts of just like every interaction was good. It was positive. People were like intrigued. Detroit has like a warmness to it about that, and it is like a rough city, but the people are, you know, rough areas birth great people. You know what I mean? Like, there's probably a real cliche saying about that, but it's true, and like I've always loved that about cities that they have heart.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Detroit's definitely a fun spot. I enjoyed every trip I've had out there, you know what I mean? And it's been a good time. So
Yeah,
much love and respect to Detroit. I got a lot of friends out there, a lot of great people that have given me their time, and I've had a lot of fun. So
there's a
and
lot of
shit,
history in that city, man.
yeah. And we dipped into Nikki's Pizza. Was it Nikki's Pizza?
Yeah, Nikki's Pizza's the bomb, bro.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had that Detroit deep dish pizza.
Greektown. Yeah, that's fire. Yeah.
Yeah, we smashed that thing too.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so the track was done. So then I had my hands on it, and then I had to take all these clips that we had shot, and so that was, I guess I get to talk a little bit now. So then I had the challenge, I guess, was because we had so many phenomenal clips and so many different locations that we had filmed, and we got so much great stuff. It was a little bit of a challenge to figure out how to make it all work and not have it look too chaotic and just have random clips thrown in here and there. Like it had to kind of make sense a little bit. And but it was such a dope set of footage that it made the project easy. And we had a lot of great clips and performance footage and B-roll and just random places that we were like, oh shit, we got to film a little something here, and oh, this is an iconic street, and all this and that, and so then I edited it, and I think it took me a couple weeks to put it together, but I didn't really use much for transitions. It was all just kind of hard cuts from shot to shot, but in the end, I was sending clips to you as I'd kind of stamp something out and kind of had a little something produced, and I'd bounce out a new copy and send it your way, and then let you peep it out. And I get the feedback from you, and it was all pretty good. And so that just kind of kept the fire going in me, and we kept editing, and we really stomped it out pretty quick. And I think we kicked out a dope project.
Yeah, definitely. It looks really great. I don't even think you used any transitions, did you? I feel like it's all just like
You know what? You might be right. I might have
I,
just
I,
skipped
I
them
don't
all
think
together.
yeah, I don't think there's like any effects. It's just and you know what? That's dope because I mean like I just remember there's like there there's so much footage. We did film so many places, and the song isn't that long of a song, really. It's like it goes Marv, I do a hook, my verse, and then I do a hook, and I repeat the hook, and then we end it. So it's kind of a short song, but we shot so many spots that came out really good, dude. So yeah, man, it was like, but the editing's sick, dude. Because I was just watching it. I've watched the video 1,000 times, but like I'll put my hands up and then it'll be like I'll move them like this and then you'll cut to where I'm like this in a different position or just like the cuts are really good and it really makes it because it could have went real chaotic, you know what I mean? But that editing cut is very thought out. It moves really quick. There were no like effects, like which there's nothing wrong with effects or anything, but it's like some people overuse the effect, to like bring the energy. And I don't. I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't feel like there's any effect or transition. I just feel like the energy's moved from shot to shot, and it's visually interesting. So yeah, it was shot really well. It was edited really well. You did a great job, bro. It was fucking
Thanks, bro. I shout out to Brandon Nelson and Tim Martinez that just joined us. Appreciate y'all jumping into podcast with us. We're talking to Nuisance.One about the new track Sanctuary of the Suffering that he just he dropped the track a while back, but the video is now out. Then I shot and edited the video, and so we're just kind of digging in on that right now and catching up. Yeah, this was a fun project, and there was so much. Well, it was fun just getting together to run around Detroit, but then also all the shit we did and being productive along the way and getting to see these iconic spots and popping in here, and we went to Mom's Spaghetti and got to check that out, and
yeah,
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
yeah, man. They had like I don't know if you call it a car show, but they had a bunch of classic muscle cars out front of the Tiger Stadium, and that was fresh. And just Detroit's a beautiful city, man. It's so dope. Like I love sculpting and like sculpture, and there's just all these weird sculptures around Detroit. Detroit is like the real Gotham, dude. Like it for real is because it's always kind of cloudy and all the buildings are real gothic and they're tall, man. Like it was like a major power city, and then there's like just these weird sculptures just sitting around the city. It's sick. It's fuck. I love it.
Yeah, Detroit's definitely a dope city. And then I mean, you already kind of touched on it, but all the music history there with Jay Dilla and M and the Temptations and everybody from that whole era. Yeah, there's a lot of soul and a lot of dope music from Detroit.
Yeah, for sure. Even just like the hip hop Detroit, I mean, I grew up pretty heavy on Detroit hip hop, what like West Coast and Detroit hip hop. But like even like me as a horror fanatic, man, like there's a lot of horror themed hip hop that comes out of Detroit too. It's just Detroit's dope, man. I take my hat off. I love Detroit as a city.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that horror scene, it really erupted there. I mean, the whole ICP scene.
Mhm.
Um, they definitely, arguably, are one of the people that kind of premiered horrorcore, or depending on views on that, they definitely took it to the next level,
Yeah,
and
for
brought it
sure.
to the forefront for sure.
Yeah.
Depending on your preference on whether they originated it or took it, whatever. Um,
It definitely
but
made it a thing. It was like a scene. You got Esham and Twisted and King Gordy. I mean, the list literally goes on forever. House of Crazies, and it's a Detroit thing. I think when you're in Detroit, you see why though, because it is like I mean, even Eminem, it's just like a dark, gloomy kind of city, dude. Like you know what I mean? It's on the water, and it makes sense when you see it. You're like, oh yeah, this is kind of a has a dark vibe to it, man.
it is kind of a wild thing when you're standing there and you can see, just on the other side of the water, you can see Canada, and it's
Yeah,
like oh shit, Canada's right there, and they've got the
yeah.
big Ambassador Bridge that is like a mile in the sky, and it's just, you just drive over it and you're in Canada.
And it's south, which is weird. You know what I mean? Because you always think of Canada as north, but Windsor is south of Detroit, or it's like southeast of Detroit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of wild. Um, okay, so now the track's out. Now you're kind of in promo mode, and you got to kind of get the word out. Has that been is that a stressful situation, or is that pretty easy, or how do you feel about promo?
Promo I try to make fun. Like, here's the thing about promo is like, I don't think any one person really likes to do it. And in a sense where like you work really hard on something, man, and you hope that and no matter what your expectations are, it'll be hard for them to be met, because you're like you build this from nothing, from a seed in your brain, and we fly out to Detroit and we meet all these people and we film it, and so all these things, but when you release it, no one's gonna know if you don't tell people. That's how it works, right? So like, I'm not Kendrick Lamar, I'm not Eminem, I'm not Snoop Dogg. I can't just drop something on Tuesday and it go platinum or whatever. So it's like I'm far from that. So it's like I have to release interesting material. So when I make promo, man, I try to make it cool. I try to make it like in something that will catch your attention, and like this is not lame. So I work hard on my promo too, and I'm cutting up things and I try to make it look as cool as possible. And then you share it out to the world, and you hope other people like it and share it as well. And people do, you know what I mean? The people do, and it's like it's just one of those things. Like, nobody wants to. I'm not the kind of person that wants to go out and tell everybody about me. You know what I mean? But I do want people to enjoy my music. Like, I make my music for people to enjoy. I mean, I make my music because I love making music. That's it. At the end of the day. But as any artist would be lying if they're like, I don't like people to appreciate my art. And so you need to get it out there. And part of that is tagging motherfuckers, sharing a bunch, and it gets redundant, I think. But there's people that I definitely have fans that have found me because through hashtags and through like random TikTok videos and stuff. And that wouldn't exist if I didn't, go as hard as I do on promo. So I like the process. I like my favorite part about promoting is finding the creativity in it, like creating the videos and finding a theme. Like every song I do, I find a theme to it. Like this is like I did like cold and I did like church. So I put like a snowflake emoji in a church, and I always find like emojis that relate to it. Like when I did Wolf and a Bat, I did Wolf and Bat. Like every single one, I'll try to find like an emoji and like a little kind of not a catchphrase, but a kind of a theme to it. And I think that's fun. Like I'll pick certain colors and stuff. This is like my more like chill blue colors. And I like the creative part of promoting more than I like the hey homie, do you like my my post? You know what I mean? That part.
Hey, would you share this?
Yeah. I hate doing that. You know what I
It's
mean?
but it's I mean it's a necessary evil because
Mm.
that's the fan base going to another fan base, going to another fan base, and I mean that's how it all works,
Exactly.
and sometimes like just the way the algorithms work, sometimes you don't even see it, unless you like you like sometimes I got to text somebody specifically and be like, hey bro, I'm gonna tag you in this, or hey, I dropped something new, you want to peep it out, and if you could you share this on your page, or hey yo, we got a show coming up, you know what I mean, I got tickets, I know this is your type of vibe, I shared it on Facebook, I don't know if you saw it or not, because
Right.
I think the algorithm does, you know what I mean, they want you to have to pay to promote some of this shit. I have 4,700 friends on Facebook. I know not even a half of them or a third of them see the shit that I drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
and,
facts. Yeah.
and it's wild the shit that jumps off too, because you can say some dumbass shit and you'll get 100 reactions and 200 comments, and then you drop some music and it's like mute, and it's like, what was that? You know what I mean? Y'all were
Yeah.
laughing at dick and fart jokes, and fucking I
Yeah.
dropped something of substance and nothing.
Exactly, dude. I know. You know what man, that reminded me of, bro, is I grew up a graffiti artist. Me and you actually we used to mess around, and then I moved to Tucson and I got more serious about it. But I remember we would do the sickest pieces, bro, and they'd get buffed and no one would see it. They didn't last a day. Then one day I'd go out wasted and I'd do the dumbest bomb ever, and then everyone would see it and they'd be like, oh, Nuisance, bro, what was that? Yeah, on 22nd Street. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Why is that one the one that stays up, bro? Like that was garbage.
Uh,
Yeah,
that's
man.
that's the way it works, though, right?
Yeah,
They make
yeah.
you they make you work hard for this shit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Proman. promo, like, hopefully one day I get a promo team, and I mean, not hopefully, I will. One day I will have a promo team, and I don't even know, like, it'll just be so refreshing to kick back and be like, oh, there's other people doing things for me. You know what I mean? But right
Well, and
now,
it's sometimes people don't even think about it. They'll, you know what I mean? Like I'll have somebody say something to me that I'll see in person, you know what I mean? And they'll be like, "Bro, I seen all the shit you're doing." And I'm thinking like, I don't remember like any comments or anything, you know what I mean?
yeah,
But sometimes people are just laying in bed and they're just scrolling and looking,
yeah,
but they're not commenting and they're not sharing because they're like, that's not what they're on. You know what I mean? That's not the agenda at
right.
that point in time. You're just what do they call it? Doom scrolling or whatever. You're laying in bed, half asleep, half awake, just entertaining your eyes while you're laying in bed.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot too. And I feel like I understand it because it's like, to me, I'm so locked in on my music that I'm like, what do you mean you didn't, like, you know what I mean? But to someone else, it's like just in the song. Like, I have homies that release songs all the time, and like, I'm sure, not on purpose, but I'm sure I have not shared or liked, and they're probably like, Nuisance is an asshole. But I honestly would if it was a conscious thought. But sometimes, you're in between things, or you're like getting in your car or whatever, bro. So I understand it. I get it. You know what I mean? It's just the accessibility to all this information is just right in your palm. So that is something we do kind of take advantage of, or just don't think of like we should be liking every single person to support them. So I get it, man. You know what I mean? It's one of those
Yeah.
things.
That's just how that shit goes sometimes. Well, and then there's schedules, right? Because I got that late schedule where I go into work at like 4 to close or whatever in a bar. And so a lot of people are getting off work when I'm starting work. And so my schedule is completely different than theirs,
Mhm.
whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just everybody's on different times. And I'm sure there's people that are starting when I'm getting off. You know what I mean? Those people that do the super early in the morning, fucking 3 to 11 shift or whatever.
Right.
Um, so yeah. Um, fuck, where do we go from here? We got okay, so what do you got? So we edited the video promo. What do you got going next? Is it
Oh
okay?
man.
So this is something that I don't think I've asked you.
Mhm.
That I'm kind of curious myself.
Yeah.
So you've got a handful of singles out already. You got you
Mhm.
you did one with Kung Fu Vampire. You did
Mhm.
one with. Well, I'm not gonna try and list them all, but you got a handful of
There's
singles
a
out.
lot.
You guys should
Yeah.
all check them out. Are these singles all going on a project, or are a lot of them just going to be independent singles that you're just kind of having fun with, or what's the plan there?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked me that because I don't know if I've ever actually got to explain this to anybody. And like, this is my plan is for my first album. So not every song's going on the album, and some songs. So I have an album I'm working on. It's called Full Moon Symphonies. This album,
That's dope.
uh, yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, thank you. This album will have a lot of those songs on it, and some songs that will not be released as singles. But what I wanted to do, man, because I thought it'd be fun, is like I was like, because I do all my own art for my covers, right? And it is a lot of work, dude. But I was like, it's a fresh idea. I don't know if anyone's ever dropped a whole album by singles by doing their own art and like kind of theming and giving the attention to each song. Because sometimes when you release an album, like songs get passed, like that's like the B sides and rarities or whatever. So I kind of wanted to bring attention to every single one of these songs because I really like them. Now, I do. I will have like just because I don't want to release an album. Everyone's like the people who really followed are like we've heard all these songs, bro. Like there's nothing special about this album. So I'll keep like 2 or 3 songs, but I think I'll probably get to a point, and hopefully within a month or so. So I can tell you my plans because I have them pretty well mapped out in my head. But uh, hopefully in a month or two, I have 3 singles that I definitely want to drop. Like definitely want to drop. I want to drop them as singles. Because I have good features on them, like just sick, like amazing features. So like I want to drop those and give them their own respect. I don't want that to just be like a side note on an album. After that, I'll probably wrap it up. I'll probably drop that album and then start working on the second album. At the same time, simultaneously, I'm working on another project with my good friend Dr. Osify, who's been on your show. We started a group called Cardboard Spaceship. Yeah,
Shout out Doc Osfi.
shout out Doc Oz. So I'm working on that too. That's both, but that's an easier project because there's 2 of us, and he produces as well. So right now, I think we have like 3 or 4 songs, and I've done 3 of the beats or some off the top of my head, and I think he's done 1 that we've recorded. But he sent me some beats. I just need this weekend. I hope to write to him. But he has sent me quite a few beats, so it'll probably be half and half, like half his production, half my production, and we're doing a real. I wouldn't say Beastie Boys, but because we're doing it fast, but it's real like back and forth. As of now, our songs are like that, which is really fresh, man.
Oh, that's dope. I like that.
Yeah, it's dope. And if you've heard Doc Oss, and anyone in this chat or who sees us later, he's big in Colorado. They know that motherfucker is known to fuck with, dude. So like, it's fun, dude. It's like there's a song, man, with Method Man and Busta Rhymes. I'm not saying we're on that level. I'm not saying anything like that. No one bring me the hate. But I'm just saying the funness of that record, dude. When I hear that record, I think it was on to Cal Zero, the prequel, I think, if my memory serves me right. But it just seems fun. Like they're just boom, boom, boom. Like you could just tell like they were killing it and having a blast recording it. And that's how I feel recording these songs with Doc, because I'm doing some wild ass production, man. We got like, and he's a weird dude. I'm a weird dude. So we're both our weirdnesses are just really has a fun energy to it, dude. So I'm excited for that project. I hope to drop that project shortly after my first solo album, and then I just go right into album number 2, which I don't have a name for yet, but I have some fucking crazy songs for it, dude. It's so crazy.
That's dope. So would you say you're doing like some Beastie Boys type shit? Is it like Run DMC type shit where it's like you do 4 bars, he does 4 bars, you do 4, like are you bouncing back and forth kind of like that? Or
yeah, sometimes not even 4, like sometimes 2, some even in 1, sometimes we're finishing each other's rhyme structure. And
that's hard. I like that.
Yeah, it's dope. And it's not like, I love the Beastie Boys, I love Run DMC, but it's not like you tell me to smile. It's not like that. It's like like, you know what I mean? Like really keeping a healthy bounce to it.
That's hard. That's hard.
I'll send you some songs on the side that we have finished, but yeah, it's fresh.
Okay, dope. We got a couple more people that jumped in here with us. We got Brandon Nelson. What's up, my dog? Diana Webb. Shout out Brianna Webb. I think KT is dope. Jumped up in here. I just seen her hit us with an emoji, and then Nora Clark jumped in here. Man, that takes me back to the Sheridan days. I remember Nora from Sheridan.
Shout out.
Yeah. That's dope, bro. Okay, all right. So you got
Hey, just 1 second, man. Yo, shout out KT, dude. That's the homie, dude. That shout out, man. I always loved her, dude. She's dope. She's fresh. She's got a lot of cool stuff going on. She supports. I support her. I've never met her in person. I really want to, and she's fresh, man. And I'd love to do a song with her too. She's dope. Shout out.
Yeah, she's dope, man. She's up in here listening, bro. And I'm sure she definitely collab with you. She works hard, and she is dope on the promo, and she is super dope in the booth. So if you guys haven't had an opportunity, check out KT is dope. She's on GFG Records with my co-host Big Ray West. Shout out Big Ray West. And Ray works the early shift, so he wasn't able to jump on here with us tonight. But yeah, we're gonna be back with another one on I don't remember what day it is. We'll be back with another one on Tuesday. Ray should be on the podcast. I'm expecting for that one. So, but definitely shout out KT is dope, man. She's always fun to chat with, and she's a dope performer. And actually, they got I think she's involved in the singing contest they got coming up. So, KT just jumped in the comments. She said, "Thanks, my friend. Let's do it." So there you go.
I'm down. I'm way down for that, dude. Yeah. That's something I would really like to have happen soon.
She just dropped a new project with Big Ray West. I'm struggling to remember the Think About Me. There we go. Think About Me. And that is tearing up the charts. So definitely peep that out. Told you I'm super scatterbrained right now, so I had to cheat and look up the exact title of it. I'm fumbling my words tonight, y'all. So I didn't want to fuck anything up. So I figured I'd rather be safe than sorry.
I have the worst memory for song titles, bro. Like even songs that I've listened to my whole life, dude. Because I'll just throw a record on, bro. I listen to most of my music on vinyl, and like Deftones is like one of my favorite bands, and people would be like, "Oh man, you know that one song?" I'd be like, "Dude, I probably know every word to it, and I couldn't tell you the title of it, bro." You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, especially like back in the day when you flip through the book or whatever and you read the titles, you know what I mean? But nowadays, all the shit is just digital. And so a lot of the times, you know what I mean? If the phone's just over there playing and it's just coming out of a speaker somewhere, I don't even know what the title is. You know what I mean? Like if I'm
Mm.
playing a new album, unless I walk over and look to see what the phone says, I might
Yeah,
not even see the name of the title.
yeah, bro. Yeah, and I listen to so much music, it's like I have to memorize it. I'm like, oh man, like, you know,
Yeah, it's a
like
little bit of a chore.
yeah, yeah. I feel like I look so stupid in some conversations, but I'm like, dude, I know the song, I know the music, I just don't remember the title, man.
Okay, so here's one for you. Uh, so how do you feel about um, this has happened quite a few times recently and over the course of the years. How do you feel about I'm trying to phrase this to not guide your answer. How do you feel about um well here I'll just say it like this. As a fan, I think we're all excited to get new music from our favorite artists, right? So and so Snoop Dogg drops a new album or Dre drops a new album or Too Short, plug in the artist name, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If that's the dude you're listening to or that's who you're checking for, then you're excited they drop some new music. And now for the artists, it's a little bit of a different vibe when we got these leak scenarios that are going on because maybe it's not finished or it wasn't meant for the audience. They were just fooling around in the studio and the recorder was recording and there's a copy of it, but it was never intended to be released. But and in this case, I'm talking about Eminem. There was a new track, there was uh a new batch of I think 30 songs that just dropped the other day. Somebody somehow hacked them and they
30 songs, bro.
yeah, and they got dropped. Some of the music is already out in different forms, but these were like demos or whatever that had been being worked on. And they were not the finalized projects and they were not intended to be released. But now there's two sides to that because some of this stuff hadn't been released and it's selfish, but as a fan, you know what I mean? I get some new music and I get excited because I'm like, oh snap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Surprise album. You know what I mean? But at the same time, obviously that's shitty for the artist's integrity, not their integrity, but the integrity of the product that they wanted to put out because they're like, you're seeing these rough drawings or the fuzzy edges or whatever, and I hadn't perfected this and this wasn't what you were supposed to see. So
Yeah, I see. You know what, man? This is my take on it, man. Is like as somebody who also draws and you know and I do sculpture and stuff. There's very few people on this planet that I show my unfinished products to because a lot of these beginning ideas are very obscure or like abstract and like they are not being directed like it's not sorry, I just had someone real dope hit me up and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I don't even know. That's a different conversation. But anyway, sorry. But it's but it's like in a form that I'm not ready to present to the world. So it's like I would hate that like some of my drawings or some of my music gets leaked. I wouldn't feel good about that, bro, as an artist. But I see what you're saying. If it was like previous things that you've put out that maybe he was never going to release. Like Dr. Dre has so many rumored albums that we may never hear. And like me being someone who was raised on Dr. Dre, I would love to hear these albums, man. I mean, I've heard he's got crazy albums. I've heard he's got stuff with like just crazy artists that you're like, dude, like Too Short was talking about a song they did together, and I was like, that would be nuts to me. And like knowing how Dre works, he may never release that to the world. So I wouldn't be mad if it was released, but I understand and I appreciate and respect the due process of somebody being comfortable with their art that they created and releasing it to the world in the form and the fashion and the method of which they chose. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
I uh I have a weird thing where when I'm creating, I send it out a lot, which is probably
Oh, yeah.
probably bad. But like when I was working on the video with you, I just kept sending you copies of it. Like, hey, what do you think? Hey, what do you think? You know what I mean? And so like,
Mhm.
I like, especially if I'm collaborating with somebody else, I like the other person's feedback as
Right.
I'm doing it to make sure that like, are we on the same page? You know what I mean? Because I don't want to put in and in this case, I didn't want to put in hours and hours of work and have you be like, oh, that's not the direction we're going. You know, and that maybe not. That's a bad example, but because we were both kind of on the same page and had a vision for this a little bit, and so I understood the mission, as Cat Williams would say. But but yeah, I felt like I kind of like to check the pulse as I'm going and be like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? But me and my little brother Cap have discussed this while I'm doing it, and a lot of people don't want to see the behind the scenes and how things are going. And they're, you know what I mean? Some people can't see the end product either. You know what I mean? You show them a rough drawing and they're like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Like,
and then those people tell people and they're like, bro, this dude's trash. He fucking, and I was like, dude, maybe it was just a rough idea. You're just trying to get out and, yeah, it's there, and it's different with collaborators, right? Like because I'll share stuff that I'm collaborating with someone because I'm like you, like me and you have a different relationship because we grew up together and we create art together. So like I feel like you send me beats a lot, and I'll send you. I just straight you can contest. I'll just straight film my phone off my laptop playing a beat, which is probably like the worst sound quality to share. I'm like, check this out. But that's what I'm feeling myself. I'm like, no, this is so much that I'll just record off a phone, off a laptop speaker in a horrible way. But yeah.
Sometimes you're like, I mean, I'll be sitting in here and I'm like, I'm just getting down and I'm like, oh man, I got to check the vibe on this, make sure I'm on the same page because I'm feeling this motherfucker right now.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm not feeling myself too much.
Right, dude. Hey, I do stuff like that too. I mean, I got an in-house sound quality check with Chop Logic, and she DJs too. That's my girlfriend for years. But I'll be like, and she tells me, I don't think she would never say like that's whack, but you could get a response like, oh, she wasn't feeling it that much, so maybe there's some things. But she actually gives some really good advice on things I should tweak. That like even sometimes I don't like to hear in the moment because I was like, man, I was really into that. But then I'll sit back and think, and I'll be like, oh, maybe I should tweak that a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, and there's even been moments where I've been like caught up in it and I'm down here, I got the monitors blaring and I'm getting into it. I'm like, ooh, this motherfucker's fire, bro. And I'll send off an email and send it to you or Cap or somebody. And then like I come back in here the next day and I'm working on it and I hit play and I'm like, ooh, I probably shouldn't have sent that to people. that motherfucker needed a little more polishing before it hit the ears of other folks.
I've done that. Definitely have done.
Should have slept on it, if you will.
Yeah. Well, when you're creating, bro, and you're feeling it, man, you're in it, dog. Like,
yeah.
I do that with sculpting, with painting, with lyrics, with whatever.
Yeah.
And I think always I do get a better result, and I'm trying to get better at it myself. Is like if I just wait till it's finished and then I send it to people and they're like, oh, this is dope, then opposed to just like this raw, rough audio that's not mixed at all or whatever,
Yeah. I've gotten to the point now where because I'm trying to kind of teach myself to mix, this is probably overkill, but I mix it a little bit as I go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that way I'm not sending it out with like and just because I had to mix the beat on this last project Ray and I did together, and then I had to mix all 12 songs. I'm like, I need to get a little head start on this shit. And so I try and mix it a little bit as I'm doing it. And then I'm like, I also get a little more control of like, oh, I want to bring up the keys right here. I want the bass line to slap a little harder. But I got to make sure I got a stock system in my SUV. So I make sure that it's not overpowering my system because then it's going to overpower other people's with a stock system. And so I can go and check it on my way to work. And so like, I got like a little system, you know what I mean?
That's good, dude. Man, I'm so weird about shit, but I'm also on such a tight schedule with everything. There's like a lot of times, bro, I'll make my whole beat completely raw and I'll rap over it even, I won't even begin to mix. It depends. I've sent some really big notable artists some completely unmixed beats. And I've like apologized. I'm like, hey man, I just don't have the time to mix this and then mix it when you send me the vocals. So I'm just gonna have to do it. Sorry.
Yeah.
If it's a problem, but
no, that's dope though. That's dope. Well, shit. Okay, so all right. So what's next? Let's talk about that. Where we go from here?
Yeah, check it out, man. I actually am really excited about a lot of things coming. And I'll go ahead and say some things that I've been keeping a secret. I mean, you might know some of these things, but
I was going
my
to say you've shared some pretty exciting milestones with me. I'm
yeah.
interested to hear what you're about to say.
Okay, cool. I might keep some of the things you know a secret on here, but and some things I might not be able to talk about to you. So that's another thing. But what the things that I do want to discuss is or mention is my next song that's coming out will be at the beginning of next month, and I'm super stoked about this song. And there's this he's an MC out of Stockton, California. It's kind of up north, kind of by the bay. It's not in the bay, but kind of by there. It's where Nate Diaz is from, and it's kind of closer over by Sacramento. And this MC dude, his name's Swift Homicide. I don't know if you've heard him yet. He was on the Fizzer Cipher, and he's dope. He's like a kind of a scary ass dude. Like I don't like to compare people, but if I had to like say his vibe, it's kind of like a Brother Lynch kind of vibe. He has kind of like a fast flow like that. So I got a song coming out with him, and it's about like just bigging up California. And like it's a good time to big up California, man. I mean, like we've been through a lot recently. This is like kind of in a very horror. It's not anything to do with current events. I'm not doing that, but I don't want to bank off any of that. I think it's corny when people do shit like that. This is just my love. It's a love song from me and Swift Homicide to the state of California, and it's like just wrapped in a dark horror themed package, and that's gonna be fresh, and it's just a hard beat, dude. And so I dropped that February. My next single after that is probably the song I'm the most excited about releasing my whole life. I've been in two previous groups. I've done a couple solo songs in between that. And then I've done now I think like 14 or don't, something around that many songs I've released. And the song after that I hope I'm still working. So I decided to do a 3D. I do CGI work, modeling and sculpting. I'm a CGI artist for those that don't know that I mess with that. I decided to do the whole album art in 3D. So I modeled my car. I have a 1964 Oldsmobile Dynamic. I sculpted two characters, my characters, like the werewolf character that I run with. I sculpted severed body parts and like a grill. So the next song so it features the RBX, dude. RBX.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Fucking art. That whole collab came together so crazy. It was so nuts. It was like a miracle. Like my mom came. I took my mom on a cruise. I paid for Christmas. I bought my mom a cruise to go to Mexico to go Cabo, and so I flew her out here. And she came in. She's like, Brandon, I'm just so excited with everything you got going on. I forget what song I just released a song during that time. I forget what it was. I had a week prior, I made a beat, and I was like, this beat I'm making, I want a horrorcore West Coast beat. You know what I mean? And I want to make it just in case I can ever talk to RBX. Like this is my thoughts. I was thinking that I've never talked to RBX. I didn't know how to talk to RBX. I think I even talked to you. I was like, how do you think I could ever talk to RBX? Because the dude's a legend, bro. And for anyone who doesn't know, he was on a big player in Dr. Dre The Chronic, which is like for me and Steve, that's kind of like the holy grail of music.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. And then he was on Doggy Style, which is just another one of those amazing, phenomenal albums. And then he was on the Marshall Mathers LP. Let alone he's had his own solo projects in between, and he's just a West Coast legend. He's from Long Beach. He's Snoop Dogg's cousin. He is the man, and he's a horror dude in like all of these, right? Like he was a scary dude. He was the dude. He's like my biggest influence. Like he was in The Chronic. He's the dude that's serial killer. Like
deep
just
like mines of Minota.
now picture this. Yeah, dude. Like
Picnic baskets.
yeah,
Picnic
dude.
caskets.
Yeah, skits. Oh, that's my dude, bro. And just his voice and like and he was like real lyrical and just sick, bro, and just like a dope MC. Just he's dope. You could put him up against anybody. He's sick, but he brought that horror vibe, that dark vibe, and he would just say the weird things. And he made the Chronic without him would be such a different album, dude. You know what I mean? He brought that ingredient and so my mom came and she's like, what would you like to do next? Like you're doing so much. Like what is your next thing? This is not a lie. I said, I would love to work with this rapper RBX. I would love it. I was like, I don't know how, I don't know any way, but I'm manifesting it. I legit said this. I went to the bathroom, dude. I set my phone on the counter. You know, I freshen up. I look down on my phone. My phone beeps. It's a message on Instagram, and it's RBX. And I like, this is the craziest shit. Like, it was just like he just hit me up and sent his record, you know, and like, but still, like, you know, how many people he has, like 1 million followers on Spotify. Like, there's so many people. It's just so weird. I don't even know. I can't even explain. I never even asked him, but I was like, this is my shot, you know, like I'll whatever. When will I ever have another opportunity to talk to RBX? And I was like, dude, I was like, this is crazy because he just put out a new album, you know, which is dope. Everyone should check it out. It's called Hibernation Shivers. It's an amazing album, and he sent me that vinyl signed too. He's a man. We have now we're building on a relationship. I feel like you know he's a dope dude too, man. And so I was like, homie, you're not gonna believe this, but I made a beat for us, dude. You know what I mean? Like, and I sent it, and I was like, can I send it to you? And he's like, yeah, send it. And so I did, dude. And I mean, it was tailor crafted for a collab with me and RBX. So, and he was like, this is fresh as fuck. And I was like, let's go, dude. So I got that RBX song coming out. I hope to drop that in either the beginning. I try to drop them in 3 week intervals or a month just to give enough time to build promotion and give every song enough chance to breathe and people to grow with it. So after the song I drop with Swift Homicide, which is called How the West Was Evil, then I plan to drop my track with RBX. And
Nice,
I
bro.
have to, yeah, thank you. And I have to finish. I sculpted RBX. I sculpted my character. I just got to render and finish the artwork, and hopefully it's just super sick and everything's super dope. And I hope for a really great rollout. And then just we may have some more stuff in the works after that too. Of me and
That's
RBX.
hard, bro. That's dope. Hell
So,
yeah. We had a couple more people jump up in here. The homie Evan Bradfield jumped in here. He said, that's dope. KT is dope. Jumped in as well. And she commented and said, sounds dope. So appreciate everybody watching with us tonight. We got the homie Nuisance.One up in here. And me and Nuisance go way back. We grew up together. And we're just sitting here talking about his new single with Marv Won that's out now. So go peep it out. It's on YouTube. Did you release it on Facebook yet? It's just on YouTube, right?
it's on everything.
Well,
The single.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The single's on everything.
Yeah.
So whatever streaming platform, you know, even on Facebook, if you want to add to your reels or whatever, anywhere you can find it. The music video is only on YouTube.
Okay, cool. And that's usually what I do too. I'm teasing with the idea, like after I've done what it's gonna do on YouTube, I think I may start dropping them on Facebook. I don't know. I've kind of, man, drop us a comment. Let me know. But I've wondered. Obviously, I don't want to compete with myself, and so I don't want to steal views from one and kind of split the audience. But I feel like after you've kind of peaked over here, maybe drop a fishing pole over here. But I don't know. I haven't done it yet, so I don't know. That's something I've been pondering recently.
Yeah, dude, drop someone if someone knows, because I also saw you could drop a music video on your like distributor, which they would put it on Spotify. I don't know what that means. I've never seen like music videos on Spotify or Apple Music. Maybe I'm just not looking for that, but I'd be interested. I actually there's a chick that she releases music I saw on Facebook, and I asked her and she didn't get back to me, but she said that she puts it through her distributor, and I wonder if that's maybe a good idea. The only thing that I like about dropping it myself on YouTube, and I'm not like as YouTube friendly as maybe I've only put out like 3 music videos on my solo thing now that YouTube's a bigger thing, but I'm curious if you have as much control, you know what I mean? Because I like when I drop my music through my distributor and it comes out just as like the song or whatever, I can't change the description or anything, and I don't like that. I like to give all the credits and everything in there.
Oh yeah, no, I feel you on that. Well, yeah, bro, we definitely got to get back in here and do another one of these. I definitely had fun catching up with you tonight and talking about the new video and shit. So I know you had a couple of shout outs you wanted to drop before we get off of here.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Yeah, my bad. I was middle of a thought there. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I have a couple friends that are releasing music that I wanted to plug. Um, I have homie Frosty Bones just dropped his album. Oh man, I forget the title of it. But if you just search it, um, I'm just horrible with fucking song title names, like I said previously. But Frosty Bones, please check it out. I'm on the album. I have a song on there with Liquid Assassin. It's fresh.
Oh,
Check
that's
that
the
out.
homie LA. That's what's up.
Yeah, LA in the house, bro, for sure. And then I have a really good friend of mine, man, Dr. Manable Lecture. He's in a group called Hot Garbage, and I really want to give them a plug. They're doing a lot, dude. They just released a song with Planet Asia that's fresh. They have a music video out that's super fresh. Man, it's a dope ass song. It's a dope music video. He was in Pink Elephants with me. That dude goes hard in the paint, and he's just a sick rapper. Like, I love the way his brain thinks. I love the group he's working with now. They're dope. DJ Cosmo just dropped a song. Man, he's fresh. That's my old DJ. Before I knew how to DJ, he used to DJ for Pink Elephants, and he's dope, man. Everything he does is sick.
You said your homie Bone Crusher was working on some shit too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Bone Crusher. So Bone Crusher's a punk rock group, man, out here. Always check out Bone Crusher, man. Those are my dogs. They're in my music videos. I love those guys, man. You know, it's a Chicano punk rock group out here, man. They're fucking dope. They're kind of based out of like Pomona area, but they're a big band, and they have a side project going on right now called Hardware, and I have plans. I was just talking to Mondo today to work with them. That's my homie Ram Skillet, Mikey and Mondo. Please, if you can, on Instagram, check out Hardware. I think This Is Hardware. They're a dope group. They're kind of like dark wave punk. They're sick, man. My homie Hoodie Bombs is putting together some music. I have a song with him that he should be dropping sometime. It's real sick. Man, I have a lot of friends making music. I know I'm gonna forget someone and they're gonna be pissed, and I really apologize. I had my notes actually on my phone, but I had to switch my phone to do this interview, so I know I'm forgetting some people. But check out those people, man. There's a lot of good things going on. I'll be sharing it. Doc Ospie's always dropping music. We have Cardboard Spaceship dropping. Check this shit out, dude. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be real sick.
We just got a comment. Homie said, "Gonna head to YouTube to peep the single once y'all wrap up."
Hey,
That's what's
thank you.
up.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's
Dope.
In My Bag Apparel. That's one of the local apparel producing companies ran by my homie Evan Bradfield out here. And me and Evan used to, back in my drinking days. Me and Evan went on some wild adventures.
Dope.
Yeah, he's a good
Good
dude.
good old drunken blackout adventures, man. Those were fun.
Yeah.
Shout out, man. That's tight. Yeah. So it's like an apparel company,
Yeah.
clothing company.
Yep. He does. Yeah, you'll have to check him out on Instagram. I'll send you a link later,
Oh yeah.
and you can peep it out. And just a side note, uh, we had tried to do this interview. What was it, last week? And I was going to throw this in the beginning, and then I kind of spaced it out. So it's kind of a weird afterthought or whatever that this he
I
said,
wish I could see these comments, man.
sorry. He said, back in our drinking days, he said, no more biker rallies. We did go to a biker rally together.
Nice. Yeah.
It was
That
wild.
sounds fresh. Okay.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sounds tight.
Neither one of us had ever been to a biker rally, and we ended up at a biker rally.
Yeah.
It was eventful. It was eventful. I think we ended up in an ice chest too, but either way. Yeah, so we were gonna do this interview last last week. We were gonna do this interview, and you weren't able to do it because you had the whole fires. So you're located in California, in Long Beach, and there was kind of that. I don't know. I don't want to downplay it, but I don't want to overstate it either. There was kind of a situation where you might have possibly had to evacuate, and so we had to reschedule the interview, just because California is kind of in chaos right now, unfortunately, or at least even more so back then.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of bad. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows. It's all over the news. A lot of people are losing a lot of things. It's real sad. And yeah, so the thing we received an evacuation, but it was like, I don't know. It was like a misstep or something from somebody. So we're good, we're fine. There's people that are not good, and that's sad. And we're kind of on the other side. I live in Long Beach. We're in like South LA, and the fires are primarily up north. And so yeah, that sucks though. Like my heart goes out to all those people, and also like anybody who may not know me, I'm sharing GoFundmes. I made a video talking about this a little bit earlier, but I'm sharing some GoFundmes for people that even people that I may not know anything about, but some people I have a lot of homies. It's kind of like their friends. Like I'm friends of my friends have lost their house. It's fucked up, and Madlib lost his house too, dude. And so there's no one safe. It's not a class thing or anything. There's like this is real people losing real shit, and it's fucked up. And so if you do follow me, man, or friend me, I'll follow you back. And like I share some GoFundmes, and I would ask that if you can't throw $5 or $10, that's what I'm kind of doing. I've been just throwing 10, 20 here and there, and I think that just the sentiment helps people, just the niceness, just trying to be nice to people right now, and I hope a lot of people are doing that. But if not, just share, just try to share. This is a big thing, dude. It's a large piece of land, a lot of homes, man. There's a huge number. I forget the number, but it's a lot, dude. And living here, no matter where you're at, you're seeing it. You're seeing people, but the city of LA really pulled together for people, and that's the beautiful thing that came out of this real horrible tragedy. But yeah, just keep people in California in your prayers and thoughts and all that stuff, because there's some people that they're going through it.
For
So,
sure. Yeah, I mean it's horrific what people are going through, and even a lot of people that they were talking to on the news about it were saying, I always saw it, in the past on the news when it was somebody else going through one of these tragedies, be it a hurricane or whatever, and you just don't think it could ever happen to you until it does.
well, yeah, and that's that's it. You know what I mean? I not that I want to get too far into this or anything, but it was like
Yeah, for sure.
when I did get, it was like we see tragedies, on TV, man, and it's like it's something about like when it's in your community, or when you get a notification on your phone that says you got minutes to pack up your shit. I mean, even it was basically like a prank, like not a prank, but it was false. But it puts it in a scope of reality on things like, dude, we take for granted waking up, and I don't want to get dark about anything, you know what I mean? Because I'm not a dark person, like mentally like that, but it's just, it's just real people going through real shit, man, and it sucks, and it could happen to anybody, and that's the sad thing, It's not like these are bad people that it's happening to. It's not. It's just homies and just people that work wherever and do whatever like you do, So
Yeah, they're doctors, they're teachers, they're policemen, they're firefighters, they're whatever. You know what I mean? They're just regular people living their lives, and this horrific thing happened to hit a outrageous number of people.
yeah, yeah.
So, well, yeah. I didn't mean to close this out on kind of a sad note, but it was just a side note that popped into my head, and I thought it was
Yeah.
worth mentioning because we did
No, it is. Yeah.
reschedule, and I was like, you know what, it's kind of an interesting tidbit, but it's also, I mean, not, yeah, it's just it's one of those things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it should be talked about. It should be documented, and also, like it should be mentioned. Like I feel anyone in LA right now, if you're doing anything, you're promoting anything, you're talking about anything, you're making art or anything, you should keep in mind and try to bring up that that there's people that need help, and if you can help, and if you can spread the word of help or whatever, then that's good. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, just anyone watching this, if you see me share some GoFundMe's, throw $5. If you can't throw $5, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're a bad person, but just share it. You know what I mean? Just do what you can.
For sure, for sure. The homie in my bag apparel said 17,000 last I saw. Prayers to everyone out there. KT is dope. Said glad you're safe.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, for sure. Okay, well, until next time, man. I appreciate everybody watching, jumping in the podcast with us, commenting, sharing, liking, and tuning in with us tonight on EmceeTV. And thanks for jumping on here with me, bro.
Yeah, thank you
It's
for having me on.
it's always fun, you know what I mean? Until the
Hey.
next project, when I get out to LA and me and Big Ray West come out there and tour the city in the 6'4" with you.
Hey, can I say, because both Ray and I are working with. Can I mention that, or should I not mention that? We're both working with some LA rappers or Long Beach rappers that are pretty notable.
He already dropped one of his, so I think.
It's out. Oh, or
yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't even know, man. I missed that he released that. But I was just gonna say, like, both me and Ray are working with the Horseshoe Gang. So maybe when you come out, we can film another music video or something. You know what I mean? Get down with some of that. That'd be fresh.
Hell yeah! Actually, I have a video I got to film with him because I did a track with him too.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, I got a track with. Nobody knows this yet, except I think I've mentioned it to you. But
Right.
I got a track with.
Isn't Marv Won on it?
Yeah. I was gonna say I think it's Marv Won and the Horseshoe Gang. So hey, there we go. Let's. You can't hear that, but there I got the Homer Simpson what? That just went off. So yeah. So I got a track with Marv Won and the Horseshoe Gang, and nobody else really knew that until now. So we're dropping exclusives on your ass tonight on EmceeTV. Hey, you know what I mean?
Get your news. Get your hip hop news at EmceeTV.
Real talk.
That's a fresh dude. That collab's crazy. Because think about that collab may never have happened had you not made that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's dope. That's gonna fucking rock. Yeah.
Yeah, and I already filmed part of it with Marv. So we already filmed part of the video and everything. So I just got to cut out west and get that part filmed and start seaming everything together. So it's coming soon, y'all. Coming soon.
Things are happening. Hell yeah.
That's right. All right, y'all. Until next time, it's your boy, Dat Muthafucka Steve for EmceeTV.
Nuisance.One, Long Beach, California.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next time. We out.
We've been known to snatch a piece or two. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought Aretha through. This shit torture and I'ma keep feeding you. On that East Coast shit, y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jump. American Nightmare, that's where the Spice One. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway. Putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like hash. Clay, passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé. Don't play with us, them moves ain't got you safe enough. Yelling fuck them like Smokey off the angel dust. My life so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, sharper than a razor's touch. We hit that script and get the cake up. God hate ugly, so ain't no saving us. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Big balls don't take